Russia's a very large economy. Inflation in Russia is much worse than it is in the U.S. right now, for whatever reason. It's already affecting many countries in the world, different degrees, obviously, but no, it's going to affect everywhere. Elijah, if the price of cotton goes up, it goes up everywhere. It doesn't go up just in the U.S., it goes up everywhere, and that means the price of shirts goes up everywhere. No, inflation is here. It's going to get worse. It's going to continue for a long time. I don't know how long, but certainly a long time. It's always worked that way. You know, if for no other reason we had this staggering amount of money printing all over the world, historically, that has led to higher prices. I presume it will continue to lead to higher prices now. We have never had so much money printing in the history of the world. We have never had so much borrowing and spending in the history of the world. Now, that's always led to inflation. In Washington, they say, no, don't worry. We have it under control. Janet Yellen says the Secretary of the Treasury says we will never have economic problems again because now we have figured it out. She's got 2 Ivy League degrees. If you believe her, Elijah, inflation will be over by Christmas, and don't worry, and it won't be back. Well, you know, I sit here and I watch these things just like the rest of us, and I say to myself, now, are they really that dumb? Are they just trying to keep their jobs? Or what is it? Because these people are supposedly knowledgeable. They supposedly have read some economics, read some history, and they're supposed to know what's happening. I have certainly learned in my experience, in my career, don't listen to central banks. Rarely do they know what they're doing, and they nearly always get it wrong. So I guess it's just another in the long line of central banks making fools of themselves, not just in the U.S., most central banks everywhere. We've had a couple of good central bankers in the U.S. We've had a couple in the world in my lifetime, but most of them are charlatans at best. I do know that it's here and it's not transitory. Now, the only choices historically have been you cut back on the money supply, you stop printing so much money, you raise interest rates, you stop spending so much, you stop borrowing so much. This is the way the world has always worked. Maybe it's different this time, Elijah. Mrs. Yellen says it is different this time. I hope so, but I doubt it. All I can see is higher interest rates, somewhere along the line an economic problem, then inflation gets broken eventually. But that's a lot of time and a lot of pain. Well, first of all, my view is we've always had economic problems periodically throughout history, and then we always will. We have not figured out a way to solve that problem. We're still human beings. So yes, we will have more economic problems. And Elijah, in 2008, we had a huge problem because of too much debt. Since 2008, the debt has gone up by staggering amounts all over the world. So that, I mean, even China has a lot of debt now. Nobody would lend money to China 20 years ago, but now China even has a lot of debt, which they didn't have in 2008. So the next economic problem has to be the worst in my lifetime. Now, I just say that as a simple statement. I'm not trying to scare people or anything else. I'm just saying 2008 was bad because of debt. Since 2008, the debt has skyrocketed. How could the next one not be the worst in my lifetime? I mean, that's like saying we have, hurricanes in the fall. It always happens that way. So I would expect the next time around for it to be very, very serious. Because the debt everywhere, there's debt now. In 2008, just to go back, China had saved a lot of money for a rainy day. And when it started raining, China started spending the money and helped save the world. China has a lot of debt now. So I don't know who's going to save us this time. North Korea doesn't have much debt, but North Korea's only got 20 or 30 million people. They can't save us. When you have inflation, prices go up. So if you own the things that go up, you probably will benefit. You will do well when prices go up. Agriculture has been doing very well since we spoke last time. I don't see any reason that's not going to continue for supply-demand reasons, money printing reasons. Certainly, silver is cheap on a historic basis. Silver is down 50 or 60% from its all-time high. I would suspect that there will be demand for silver. Solar power uses silver. Electric vehicles use silver. Speaking of electric vehicles, it seems we're going to have electric vehicles. Electric vehicles use much more copper, for instance, than do gasoline vehicles. So many of the things that are happening in the world are going to cause huge increases in demand. And increases in demand, especially when there's no supply, causes price increases. I mean, we haven't been opening a lot of copper mines in a long time, Elijah, but we are now building huge numbers of electric vehicles. They use copper. Where's the copper going to come from? Mrs. Yellen? I don't think so. This has always happened. Whenever you have a long bull market, at the end of the bull market, a lot of new people come into the market. They suddenly learn this is fun and you can make a lot of money. And they tell all their friends and they're all sitting around talking about it. Buy this, buy that. It's so easy. It's so much fun. It's happened at the end of every bull market that I know of in history, and I'm sure it will. That's just the way human beings are. And here they are again. Another thing that has often happened at the end of bull markets is SPACs. You know, SPACs have been around for 300 years, and they show up at the end of bull markets. One of the first ones, 300 years ago, the people said, we're not going to tell you who we are. We're not going to tell you what we're going to do with your money, but you should give us as much money as you can. Give us all of your money, and we're going to make you very, very rich. That's all they said. And people did it. Well, that's more or less, I mean, SPACs are saying a little bit more than that now. At least they're telling us who they are, etc. All of these things, this is not the first time this rodeo has come to town. We've seen this rodeo before. At least I have seen this rodeo before. So yes, it's happening. Many young people, many new people, and not all young, many new people are learning about this. And it is fun. And you can make a lot of money, but it is not easy. I know we all look back and say, I could have bought Apple. This is easy. No, they could have bought Apple 30 years ago, but they didn't, and they wouldn't have, and they probably would not have even then. So it's happened before, and it's happening again. You ask what to tell young people, I tell everybody. This is not an easy way to make money. It looks easy every once in a while, but if you want to make money, only invest in what you yourself know a huge amount about. Don't go on the internet and hear hot tips. They do not get hot tips anywhere. Hot tips will ruin you. Just stay with what you know.